We've been hopscotching through this sutra, going helter-skelter through various chapters all week. And I'm so grateful for Roshi and my Dharma brothers for helping me get insight into the material. Now we're nearing the end. I wonder if, like me, you found this some rough going. It's a little heady, challenging, a little esoteric maybe. One commentator likened the Diamond Sutra to scaling the Matterhorn. And I think it's instructive to note that with 100,000 commentaries, there's a lot of room for interpretation there. Even Red Pine admitted to sitting with the Diamond Sutra for years and abandoning it. He was unmoved by the Chinese translation, but gained insight into the Sanskrit, which is what he based the translation of the book we're looking at on. As Echo mentioned yesterday, it doesn't take long to read, but it could take a lifetime to understand. Red Pine wrote, "This perfection of wisdom is the mother, the creator, the source of all Buddhas of the past, present, and the future." I'm going to take us home through the final 4 chapters of the sutra, and we'll focus my talk on the final chapter. So here's chapter 29. Very short. I think before I start though, I wanted to observe that even though the material is challenging and kind of heady, Subhuti's initial question to the Buddha was, how do you sit and how do you walk as the Buddha? He was just asking him about how to live. And that is really our Zen project, is living our lives. So as intellectual as this book may seem, it's really just about how to live. So let's see if we can learn some more about that today. In chapter 9, it starts, Subhuti, if anyone should claim that the Tathagata goes or comes or stands or sits or lies on a bed, Subhuti, they do not understand the meaning of my words. And why not? Subhuti, those who are called Tathagatas do not go anywhere, nor do they come from anywhere. Thus they are called Tathagatas, Arhans, fully enlightened ones. Red Pine wrote, this sutra can be read as a meditation on the Buddha's body, not his physical body, but his reward body, which is a reflection of Buddha's selflessness. He refers to his body of merit by resolving to liberate all beings without attachment to any being or any self. And it turns out that selflessness is birthlessness. No self has ever existed. So the Buddha's reward body and the Bodhisattva's body of merit turn out to be nobodies. If we wish to follow in the Buddha's footsteps, we need to find the Buddha's real body, his uncreated, indestructible body, his diamond body, in accord with reality, according to Huineng, the 6th patriarch. Wang Ji Shu, a 7th century Pure Land practitioner, observed, a real Buddha, has no appearance because we cannot name his or her attributes. And the real Buddha has no form. Moreover, it fills the sky and the world. So how could it come and go? And Chifo, another 12th century commentator on the sutra, builds on this by adding, when we see that dharmas have no self and can accept that dharmas have no self, prajna wisdom will appear. To summarize the next chapter, 30 is about not attaching. The Buddha said, Subhuti, attachment to an entity is inexplainable and inexpressible. for it is neither a dharma nor no dharma. Foolish people, or ordinary people, according to Thich Nhat Hanh, foolish people, ordinary people though, are attached. Chapter 31 continues, building on non-attachment, with the Buddha telling Subhuti, those who set forth on the Bodhisattva path know, see, and believe all dharmas, but know, see, and believe them without being attached to the perception of a dharma. This means that to understand the nature of anything, whether a self, a dharma, or even a Buddha, we must not be blinded by our perception of it, which is what Kozan addressed in his talk. With this we come to the end, chapter 32. Furthermore, Subhuti, if a fearless bodhisattva filled with measureless, infinite worlds, with the 7 jewels, and gave them as an offering to the Tathagatas, the Arhans, the fully enlightened ones, and a noble son or daughter grasped but a single 4-line gatha of this teaching of perfection of wisdom, and memorized, discussed, recited, mastered, and explained it in detail to others, the body of merit produced by that noble son or daughter, as a result, would be immeasurably, infinitely greater. And how should they explain it? By not explaining. Thus it is called explaining. As a lamp, a cataract, a star in space, an illusion, a dewdrop, a bubble, a dream, a cloud, a flash of lightning, view all created things like this. All this was spoken by the Buddha to the joy of the elder Subhuti, the monks and nuns, the laymen and laywomen, the bodhisattvas, the devas, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas of the world, all of whom were greatly pleased with what the Buddha said. The Buddha is telling Subhuti, those who set forth on the Bodhisattva path know, see, and believe all dharmas, but know, see, and believe them without being attached to the perception of a dharma. This means that to understand the nature of anything. One commentator said, no doubt, many have slogged through the Diamond Sutra in a state of complete bafflement to find this little oasis of a gatha at the end. At last, something that is understandable. Let's look more closely at the first section. First, an offering of the most valuable objects in the world is compared to an offering of a single poem that expresses the truth. It's ironic to me to think that the entire teaching of this sutra, all 32 chapters, might come down to a simple 4-line poem. Let's look closely at the 4 lines. Most commentators interpret this gatha as an example of how the entire sutra should be explained. As a lamp, a cataract, a star in space, an illusion, a dewdrop, a bubble, a dream, a cloud, a flash of lightning, view all created things like this. Red Pine says, a lamp shines brightly but can be extinguished by something as unsubstantial as the wind. A cataract presents images of flowers and other objects that turn out to be defects of vision. A star in the sky appears at dusk, only to disappear at dawn. An illusion is nothing but a conjurer's trick. A dewdrop seems such a perfect jewel, but vanishes as soon as the sun appears. A bubble turns out to contain nothing. A dream enthralls us until we wake up and wonder where it came from and where it went. A cloud forms, never stops changing shape and vanishes into nothing. And a flash of lightning stuns us with its brilliant light, but reminds us of the brevity of what appears to be real. According to Asanga, a Buddhist monk who lived between 290 and 360 and who is attributed with the earliest known commentary on the Diamond Sutra, thus do we examine views, appearances, and cognition, places, bodies, functions, past, present, and what has yet to come. Red Pine observes, one must not discriminate, but simply maintain an utterly empty mind that accords with the truth, without wavering, without thought of attaining, gain, or loss, without thought of the future, of creating or destroying. Dreams are our false bodies. Illusions are our false thoughts. Bubbles are our afflictions. Shadows are our karmic obstructions. Those who are enlightened are free of karma. So digging deeper into what the Gatha means, I found this extract by Thich Nhat Hanh. Composed things are all objects of mind that are conditioned to arise, exist for a while, and then disappear, according to the principle of dependent co-arising. Everything in life seems to follow this pattern, and although things look real, they are actually more like the things a magician conjures up. We can see and hear them clearly, but they are not really what they appear to be. The Gatha is not just telling us that everything is impermanent, it is telling us that everything is illusory. Things are not what they appear to be. We should not be fooled by appearance. We should not regard phantoms as real. Thich Nhat Hanh continues, after reading this verse, we may think that the Buddha is saying that all dharmas, in the sense of phenomena, are impermanent, like clouds, smoke, or a flash of lightning. The Buddha is saying all dharmas are impermanent, but he's not saying they're not here. He just wants us to see things in themselves. We may think we have already grasped reality, but in fact, we are only grasping its fleeting images. If we look deeply into things, we will be able to free ourselves from the illusion. All things pointing to the nature of their impermanent existence. On emptiness, Red Pine wrote, all entities are dependent in time or in space on other entities, and thus empty of any nature of their own, and hence not in themselves or of themselves real. Zen teacher Zoketsu Norman Fisher also addressed emptiness. In Buddhist thought, the concept emptiness refers to deconstructed reality. The more closely you look at something, the more you see that it is not there in any substantial way. It couldn't be. In the end, everything is just a designation. Things have a kind of reality and they're being named and conceptualized, but otherwise they aren't present. Not to understand that our designations are designations, that they do not refer to anything in particular, is to mistake emptiness. I should find great advice and comfort in the Diamond Sutra. Exploring insights into emptiness and impermanence should free me from the pain of loss I've been feeling for weeks. Pain of loss of my dog, my home which I'm selling, possessions I curated over the years and sold off for $1 or $2, retroactive pain of loss of my corporate job, which led to current financial insecurity, the loss of my parents as vital, healthy livers of life. All of these things are creations, concepts. So are they real or not real? First, there is a mountain. Then there is no mountain. Then there is. The pain of loss certainly feels real, and that's attachment right there. So I must be foolish or ordinary. And in mindfulness of mind, we learn not to push away what arises, but instead to recognize it as impermanent and let it go. It's clear that my thoughts of success and failure are constructs without roots in my present reality, sitting with you and the birds and that siren right here and now. And certainly any thoughts of ownership are illusory. Can we ever really own anything, even our pets or our children, or let alone the stuff of our lives? Here's how I see it. My graphic. Show it to the camera. I know it's small, but I'll describe it. This is the whole Megillah, the big story, the big elaborate story, or as Daido Roshi referred to it, the great catastrophe. In the middle, of course, it's me. I'm in the middle of the circle, my life, my being, my karma. And on this side, we start with self and ego, which leads right into samsara. And all of the attributes, including separation, craving and grasping, clinging, pain of loss, illusion and delusion and ignorance, anger, differentiation, and a closed heart and mind. Yet on this side, we have the liberation side. And the liberation side has on it integration, compassion, the paramitas, clear seeing, non-differentiation, wisdom, and open heart and mind. And this, of course, is no self, Buddha nature on that side. And the whole thing, the whole Megillah, is surrounded by emptiness, interbeing, and oneness. And I find in my life that I kind of swing between samsara and liberation. So sometimes I have pain of loss based upon my delusion of separation and not believing in the undying. And then on the liberation side, I can recognize I've lost nothing. I have nothing to lose and nothing to gain because it's all empty. So where I find freedom from the pain of loss is in the inarguable fact that everything comes and goes, arises and falls away. Red Pine wrote, Zen masters swallow names and concepts while the entities they represent change. This too shall pass, as all things must pass. All things must pass away, as the song goes. To close, here's a poem from a recent Tricycle article online, a poem by Paula Bohentz. Disbelief of snow, suspended, so sudden the plum blossoms cannot close and hang instead like broken parasols, as the heart, unsteeled against pain, is broken. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Thank you.